Is Egypt safe? Well, difficult question to answer. Half of me says yes, half of me says no way, Jose. So, let me explain. I'm the Mad Traveler. I'm traveling the world, and this is my adventure. First, let me tell you where I've been and what I've done, as this obviously shapes my experience. I've been in Egypt for almost a month now. I spent a good chunk of time in Cairo, the capital. I went on a desert safari to an oasis, Bahariya Oasis, where I went to the Black Desert. I went to Luxor and Aswan. I took a taxi between those two cities, not a Nile River cruise. I flew to those two cities from Cairo, so I have not taken a train. And then I flew from Cairo to Sharm el-Sheikh, and then went to Dahab. So that's my experience as far as cities and how I've traveled between them. I did take a bus, however, between Cairo and Bahariya Oasis. So, what have I learned? Walking around the streets in Egypt every day, just regularly, it does not seem that dangerous. In fact, you feel a bit more comfortable and a bit more safe than you do even walking around Paris, even before the most recent terror attacks there. I don't worry about getting things stolen from me or pickpocketed as much as I do there. That's for certain. The biggest worry, or the biggest fear you should have in Egypt is really just when you have to cross the street. Because crossing the street is like playing Frogger, and it's terrifically scary. But as far as being attacked or hurt or harmed, you just don't feel that on a daily basis. So that's why people will tell you it's perfectly safe. Because when they left their, let's say, hostel in Cairo and went to the bakery and then walked to the old town, they didn't experience any fear. They didn't have any problems. So that's where the half of me comes from that says it's safe, okay? And now here in Dahab, well, it's basically a hippie town. People just leave their stuff on the shore when they go to swim and then they come back. So it feels completely safe here. So daily life, everything feels safe. Everything feels pretty calm. But, and this is a big but, remember, just because you feel safe certainly does not mean that you are safe. You start to notice that things are a little bit different when you wander off the traditional tourist path in Cairo. You're going to see these large foreign hotels with fortress-like security around them. I'm talking giant barriers so no cars can just drive up to them, armored personnel carriers with 50 caliber machine guns on top, guys with machine guns standing next to them, bomb-sniffing dogs, searching the cars, the entire car, before they'll just let it into the hotel complex, and then having giant concrete barriers around it. That's just totally normal, you know. Around all government buildings, and especially embassies, they have concrete barriers, but they don't just have the normal concrete barriers like this, they have ones that curve out like that towards the street, which makes me think it's made to deflect the blast from a car bomb. You know, just a silly little car bomb, you know? So when you see that, you start to realize that you might not be as safe as you feel. Then, as you're walking through the streets, you notice there are police on every other corner. Basically it was every 2 or 3 blocks I would see police. Then, if you do leave the city, as I took a bus from Cairo to Bahariya Oasis, you notice that once you get to the outskirts of the city, you leave this kind of police military checkpoint thing, again with armored personnel carriers and everything, and then you go out into nothingness. So it feels like, sort of from the movie Judge Dredd, where they had a big wall around the city and everything outside of it was no man's land, where the cannibals were. And then, you know, once you left the safety of the wall, you were, well, in that no man's land. So that's what it kind of feels like. It doesn't really make you feel very safe. But, even throughout the city, there are these military checkpoints. If you go to any of the tourist destinations, or just in some neighborhoods, you'll see these checkpoints where you have to go zigzag and stop and talk to the police or the military, whoever they are, just guys with big machine guns that half the time aren't wearing uniforms but are wearing full face masks and pointing the machine guns at you with their fake fingers on the trigger instead of holding the rifle the correct way. When you see that, first you think, God, this idiot's gonna shoot me on accident, great. And second you think, why do they need all of this? Am I really safe if I need to have these guys all around checking everything? When you do go to other cities outside of Luxor, Aswan, Cairo, Dahab, you go to cities that don't have a lot of tourists, you will oftentimes have a police escort. When I was in the Bahariya Oasis, I got there in the evening, saw a few things, then went to sleep, woke up the next day, and there was an armed police escort waiting for me when I woke up, sitting outside my hotel room. I went to walk around the city for about an hour, and he just trailed me the whole way. And he was pretending just to be a regular person and not a police officer. I later realized that that was so that anyone that might do me harm wouldn't necessarily notice there was a cop there and just shoot him first and then harm me. So great. Great, yeah. You feel safe when you have an armed police escort follow you everywhere you go in a city just because you're a foreigner. No, it doesn't make you feel safe. God. Then after walking around the city, I go home, I take a nap. Guess what? He sits outside my hotel room the entire time. Then I wake up, I have lunch, still there. I go to get ready to go out to the desert, the Black Desert, and we switch guys and we get a new armed police escort, and he goes with us for the rest of the day. When we get to this tourist area that overlooks the whole city, I walk out about 100 or 200 meters on my own. There's no one there, and then a couple of man and woman in their 30s probably just come walking up, and the police escort is trailing them. So he wasn't anywhere near me the whole time, and then when they come up, he's trailing them, basically to make sure that they aren't going to kill me or do something bad to me. So how safe are you supposed to feel when, according to your police escort and his actions, you need to fear anyone who comes walking towards you? Oh, that's great. Yeah, great. Feel safe, huh? Now that I'm in Dahab, it feels safe to walk around a little bit. However, to go anywhere, to go to any of the dive sites, you go through at least 2 police military checkpoints. I have to fill out a piece of paper with my passport number on it every single day to hand these guys so that they know who is going through there. These are armed checkpoints, all of them. Sometimes you have to go through 2 or 3 depending on how far you're going to go. If you take a shuttle from Sharm el-Sheikh to Dahab, because Sharm has the airport, and Dahab is this sort of hippie scuba village place, you have to have an armed police escort come with you that whole way. How safe are you when you need that? Seriously, how safe are you when you need that? You're not. And it's not a fear of someone hurting you, someone getting into a fight with you, someone robbing you, someone stabbing you. It's a fear of someone kidnapping you and chopping your head off and putting it on the news. So, when you think about all of that, no, Egypt isn't safe. I don't care how it feels. I don't care what you want to say, and I don't care what the statistics say. All in all, it's not safe. Make sure to subscribe, rate, comment, and stay tuned. There's more to come.